Hello, namaste, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. PSSM Global Australia welcomes you all to this day 13 of the exciting journey of reinventing yourself. Following up on the enlightening session that we had with Radhika ma'am yesterday on the topic of abundance, we are going to continue our discussion on the same topic today under the guidance of Grandmaster Pari Patri ji. How exciting! I would like to mention in yesterday's session, all of us felt very high energies, and a lot of credit for that goes to our audience, the masters in the audience who were able to share such meaningful insights and such relevant questions that we all were able to resonate. So, today we'll start off with the meditation session for 30 minutes. And after that, we'll start with the actual session. I'll request everyone to take 3 deep breaths to tell yourselves that yes, we are ready to start the meditation. And I'll request Sarvojji to please start some background music. Thank you. Last 1 minute, masters. 30 more seconds. Stay with your breath. We'll place our palms gently on our eyes, master. Then slowly remove our hands. Congratulations to each and every one of you for completing yet another meditation session, this time, especially under the powerful music of coming from the flute of Pitama Patriji himself. We have got Pariji online. Thank you, Pariji, for making time for us today again. You're very welcome. Please take over.
Thank you. And yes, another great day, day 13, almost completing the 2 weeks session of Reinvent Yourself. Very happy to be here. And today, I think, I believe we are doing the abundance. Yesterday, how was the class on abundance? And we will continue on that today.
I'll answer that. It was very good. We had a discussion like in our WhatsApp group, and everybody felt that there were very high energies in yesterday's session. We had a very good meditation session. Radhika ma'am was awesome. She answered all the questions. Like everybody were able to resonate to whatever happened yesterday, and we are all very excited for today having you guiding us on this day too, on the all important topic abundance. So looking forward to it for you, ma'am.
Awesome. Can anyone summarize what was told yesterday?
Yes, okay, I'll summarize it. So we started with the main things that we started with. It was the first is the three main misconceptions or misinterpretations that we have regarding abundance.
Okay.
Which is abundance is money, abundance is personal wealth. And then we covered the three misbehaviors that we develop in order to attain abundance. That is the most, it was threatening the divine was the most favorite of mine, but there were other two as well.
Correct.
Yeah. And then she played a video of Patriji, which further clarified like where do we need to look for abundance. There's nothing outside that we need to look out for. We don't need any gurus. Our breath is a guru. We need to practice more.
Absolutely.
And then we had some very insightful thoughts and experiences shared by our masters from the audience, which was really good, and some very good questions coming up. Like it seemed like all of us had the same common questions yesterday.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that she talked about all of this. And so I'll just kind of summarize, reiterate, because repeating is programming. As we repeat stuff, it is programming us. And this abundance is one of the key blocks that most of us have. I remember an abundance understanding what is money. Today we'll talk a little bit about money mindset. How about that? Laws of money. We'll talk a little bit about that. Because money is a very one of the things that, in spirituality, when we talk about money, oh my gosh, spirituality is not money. Why are we talking about money? That is one of the things that always comes up. And I, especially coming from the spiritual background where my father taught meditation for free all his life, and I've been in that environment. I grew up in that environment. I had um, great beliefs in the sense of between money and spirituality. I had great um, conclusions regarding that. And unknowingly, those became my limiting belief systems. When I Yeah, only two mindsets. Okay, we'll talk. Yeah, great. We'll repeat all of what was said yesterday. So, for example, when I was at work, remember in the story that I talked about how I was in my rock bottom and I decided to break free from that, in the sense like I remember where I was in a time when nothing made sense, like physically or emotionally or even spiritually. I was in a very bad phase, where I didn't know how to get out of it. The only way I knew was I had to sit before the computer and work 9 to 5 or 9 to 10. At that time, working 12 hours, 14 hours was pretty normal. I'm sure you can relate to it. um so to break free from that was something that I could not even imagine. Like, what would I do otherwise? There was nothing in me that I could do. I was never, I was never creative. I don't know how to play any music, dance, arts. And in growing up, that was the art. Only those three were considered as art. And I didn't have any of those three. So I was like, I don't know anything to do. I don't know nothing. All I would know is, all I had was a logical mind, study, because I studied engineering. So I didn't believe that I could do anything else until I decided, okay, why not I try this? Today I'm going to talk about, I will club manifestation with abundance. We'll talk both together today. So I decided, okay, at that time I was reading um, Jake Canfield, the author who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. If you have read those books, so he is an expert on affirmations. So I was reading his book. This was back in 2013 at that time. And I was like, or 12 or 13. So then I was like, writing stuff like, affirmations, in the sense like I didn't completely believe in them that I would make it happen, but I just wanted to try what he said. So I wrote, I am living a life doing what I love and being financially independent, because now working for so many years, I didn't want to dependent financially again to support the family. So I was like, no, I have to make money. I cannot not make money, but I want to make money doing what I love. So I was writing all of that. And then somehow deep in me, I always loved being on the stage. So I wrote, I am when I'm a speaker, and when I'm speaking, 1,000 people are clapping for me. So I wrote this on the paper. The 1,000 people are really enjoying and clapping for what I'm speaking. So I'm really pushing my limits, my boundaries in writing what I want in my life. So this is, so I wrote like 4 or 5 things, and then I've written, and then I started practicing that, in the sense like uh, working on my affirmations and stuff like that. So I started creating some routine in my life, and within no time I quit my job. my 9 to 5 job. I remember, as I mentioned, I remember the day when I was sitting in my cubicle and I was like, gosh, what am I doing with my life? This is not where I'm supposed to be. I should be somewhere else doing something else. I have no idea, freaking no idea what I will do. No plan B, nothing. If I leave my job, I don't know what I will do. But I had in my mind, that voice was running saying that you're wasting your time sitting here. You have nothing to do. So I that is the moment that I quit my job, and I had no plan B. And then the actual journey has started for me, in the sense, like, when you literally you know jump in, lean into that fear, because the ego was always telling me, Pari, you don't know anything else. What will you do? All your life have studied for, did engineering, masters, and got into this corporate job. You have such a cushioned job. You're in a very secure space right now. Why are you leaving? What will you do? And all of this ego is telling me. But then the time was such that I had to just let go all of that security. And there's a saying that if you're looking for security on this planet, you're on the wrong planet. This is not, it's only an illusion that we have as security. There's nothing security around. Everything can just vanish in a second. Everything can just go in a second. And we've seen that. We've been through COVID. We know what it means. The jobs getting lost, lives being lost, everything is lost in just before our eyes. So the fear, when we have as Kalpana just written here, there are only two kinds of consciousness here when we talk about abundance consciousness, or scarcity consciousness, or which is poverty consciousness. They are two of the same thing. They are two sides of the same coin: abundance or lack. You cannot be a bit lack. You cannot be like, okay, Pari, you know what? I have abundance in my health, in my relationship, or somehow in finances, I feel lack. Or Pari, I have abundance, I have so much money, but relationships, this is where I'm struggling. No, you cannot be this much pregnant. You cannot be maybe pregnant. Oh, maybe Pari, I'm pregnant. Maybe here I'm pregnant. No, you're either pregnant or not pregnant. Simple. You're either abundant or you're not abundant. So the mindset, this mindset, every thought that we have, every belief that we have to keep in a check of, because that shows up in those forms. The fear mindset shows up as procrastination, as perfectionism. It masks itself. The fear masks itself as arrogance, as pride, as emotions. So the fear shows up as emotions to protect because the ego is always trying to protect you. The ego is always, because at the end, say for example, the shame, we are okay to die, but die of shame. So shame has become such a big thing that we are okay, like, okay, and this has been programmed since our childhood. Growing up in India, in Indian school systems, um, failure was something that, not, oh my gosh, never, no, because you'll be called out in the class. You'll be called out saying that, hey, you got less marks. You will be made sit outside the class, or sit with a brilliant person, to pair you with a brilliant person, just because you have to get better. Things like that were very, people would know, and the shame inside is building up. And the shame, this guilt, this regret is the fear. Now, the ego now telling you, like, okay, you know what, you would rather die. So many suicides, student suicides in India and across. Why? Because this is very real. The fear tells you that just die. Why live with shame? So, like, honor, the illusion of honor that we create in ourselves, the illusion of image that we create within our minds, tells constantly telling us that you cannot be stupid. If I'm in the group, I'm always like, if I have to ask a question, raise a question, is my question good? Is my question stupid? I don't want to look like a stupid asking questions. If Deepak Chopra was here and I have to ask a question, I will think 100 times, oh my gosh, is it a intelligent question? Because we are always constantly thinking about that I cannot be, you should not be you cannot look like a stupid. So this mindset, again, it is all stemming out of fear. Perfectionism. I was a perfectionist. I have to be everything perfection. In perfection, it is a form of fear, that if it is not perfect, it is not worthy, or it is not of value. So, or procrastination. Oh my goodness, procrastination is a form of fear. Thinking about, is it good or not? Am I making the right decision or not? By the way, if you're struggling with procrastination, one of the favorite affirmations that I have is, I always make the best decisions. I always make the best decisions. Maybe sometimes in your life you made a decision and it didn't work out well, and it may have happened a couple of times, and then you make a belief that I don't make good decisions. I have to get approval from others. So you constantly get validations from your external environment that you made a good decision. And now that repetition has become a program. How does a belief system gets created? When a thought, or when a thought, or when a words, what you speak becomes a reality, expresses itself repeatedly in your environment, in your reality, that becomes a belief system for you, and you start believing that becomes the truth. And for us, we have believed so many lies as truth, and we go with that. For me, for example, at that point, I believed that in order to be successful, we have to struggle. Success doesn't come easy. That is what I believed. I believed that I have to do what I don't like to be successful, because I believed money and spirituality can't go together. I believed that in real world, spirituality doesn't work, because all my life I had no money while growing up. I didn't see money in my life until I came to US and start working. I didn't see money in my life. And of course, we see now so many pyramids, so many this and that. We see all of that in the videos. But when I was right in that situation, there was nothing. I remember father has to travel so much, wait for hours and hours and hours for people to listen about meditation or do meditation. People would close doors on his face because nobody want to hear him. I've seen all of that struggle. I've seen that. So I was like, why I would be like, why should we spend so much time to teach people when they don't want to listen? And and that too for free. So I was in the mindset of that, like that's why there was one point I was like, I want to run away as far as possible from PSSM. I have nothing to do with PSSM. So if anybody calls me, say Kalpana calls me and says, Pari, I'm from PSSM, and I will like, okay, very good. I would hang up the call. I would not talk to them, because I wanted to be away from all of that. I wanted to be in the real world, having real success that I believed in. So I would not think about meditation. I would not think about any thing. And that is where I started getting into more fear beliefs, because I started accepting the belief systems of my environment as my own, such as this, that you have to struggle. Because I was in US, the visa struggles, getting visa, getting a job. If you don't get a job, you will be kicked out of the country. So all of those fears, I'm sure you can relate to that. So those are the fears, because until then I never worked even to come to US. It was a breeze. I wanted to come to US, things happen, I'm here. I never even in my mind thought, okay, I have to like get an interview, I have to like get a job to pay the rent. All those struggles started becoming real when I was in that fear mindset. So that is when I started, my life went in a spiral going down, with starting from that, accepting those belief systems. The moment you shift your mindset into abundance. So I remember struggling when I quit my job. I was like, I still had those abundance blocks. I was not out of that. I still had issues with money and spirituality. I still had issues with money itself, lot of blocks. So I remember I was then, doing a lot on research on crystals and stuff like that. And then on from a yoga center, I got a call and I said, Pari, we would love to have your class here. And I'm like, okay, very good. This is great. I was like super excited. And then I was like, okay, let's do it. So I went there. We decided on an amount. I believe it was $40. Okay. It was just $40. She said, we will give you an energy exchange for your time that you have come here. That was the first time somebody offered me money for teaching spirituality. First time ever. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that people even give money for, teaching about this. So, but then I went into the yoga center. I think there were about 4 or 5 people. I was like super excited. I was nervous, and I did a kick-ass job. I believe that was to teach about crystals, and I done that. Everybody were happy. They had questions. We talked about that and all of that, and then the lady, she was coming and giving me the cover with $40, which we previously agreed on, and she was giving me that, and I couldn't get myself to take that cover. I was like just saying, no, 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 I don't need it. I don't want it. And I'm like, and then finally she's like, no, no, it's okay. We agreed on it. So please take it. And then I took it and I was sitting in my car and I was like kicking myself. I'm like, what I was thinking, why I couldn't get myself to take it? Why was I saying no, no, no? And making it such an awkward situation for her and for myself in that moment. And I was like, this is it. This is my blocks now. I have to overcome these blocks in order for me to achieve what I set out to achieve. I had to get out of this, because whenever we talk about money, I used to get very uncomfortable. Like it was the most uncomfortable situation. I would rather hire somebody, pay somebody to talk about money, to do all those contract negotiations, but rather I myself deal. So this was where my mind was going. Like I was thinking about that. Maybe I should hire somebody just to talk about money so I don't deal with it. But then I thought, you know what? If I don't fix this relationship with money, I'm never gonna achieve what I want to, because I was set out for greatness. I had big, big dreams. Even now, every single day, I push myself to dream big. I wouldn't settle for less. Nothing, no settling for less. I had to make it happen. I had to be successful. So that's when this reprogramming of subconscious mind with money has begun. In understanding that I love, 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 love money. Money loves me. People throw money at me. These are my affirmations, by the way. People absolutely throw money at me. Money and spirituality absolutely go well, works in harmony. This is my favorite affirmation is I'm extremely worthy of extreme riches, love, and extreme riches, joy, and romance. This is my favorite affirmation that I would say every single day. I am totally worthy of extreme riches, joy, and romance. So I decided then once I started working on myself, changing and my programming here, because I had so many judgments for people who charge for things. I myself had judgments. I would judge them. And of course, judgments are your own reflections. They are limiting your own progress. When you judge others, any judgment, whether it is politics, movies, anything, when we put out a judgment in the world, in your reality, it creates an invisible energetic block within you to progress. So I would say be selfish. Don't judge anyone, because if you judge, you limit your own progress. and you don't want to do that. So don't judge anyone, whatever they're doing. Just observe, just be a witness, no judgments. If a politician is taking money, okay, he should not be taking money, or he should be taking money. That is a material. What you want to do, what you have to do, you do that. You do what you have to do, but there is no point in judging others. If you can't do anything in that situation, there's nothing, there's no point. And the second thing is also, as I said, procrastination, worrying is also another form of fear. Worrying constantly, again, we mask it as concern, we mask it as a positive annotation. The fear within us, we all have fears. When we come into this human body, it is built-in system. You can't take away that system from the human body. That is a bit, until you get out of this human body, you will have fear. Fear is a part of it. But understanding that fear, understanding where it is coming from, you have the power to maneuver that, to overcome that fear. So courage is not lack of fear. Courage is the power to overcome that fear. That is what the courage is. And for me, recently I had a big breakthrough, though, by the way. I'll share with you. So at the end, I'll share with you guys the breakthrough I had. So every time you have this fear, you will mask it with some emotion. Now we have to identify what it can be: anger, it can be violence, it can be jealousy, it can be any fear, any emotion, but we mask it with that. So understand what that emotion is. That is why emotions are very crucial in understanding where your vibration is, how your frequency is. So emotional intelligence, which we talked about, is a very crucial part of manifestation. Always your emotion must be higher, elevated emotion to manifest. If you are living in an emotion as sadness, regret, or concern, or shame is something that we carry, especially for women. Shame is carried in their breast and they're in their sexual organs. We carry, that is why breast cancer, ovarian cancer, very, very much prevailing, because we carry shame, regret in there. We shove it deep inside us. The embarrassments as a child we may have had, we did something and somebody said, don't be a stupid. That stupid, that word has gone into our being and has become a big shame, that even as you grow up, if somebody says stupid, you will be like, what? You will do everything in your power to be not stupid, to be intelligent, to sound smart, because you're defending that wound that you had as a child. So these are the small incidents that the memory is imprinted in that emotion. So anything that you remember, because there's an emotion that gets imprinted in that situation, and that gets carried in your DNA. Unless those stories are changed, unless those stories are changed for you to move forward, for you to empower, you will not have power. You're giving away your power to things around you. So the key is to take your power back from all the opinions around you, from all the validations. You have to take your power back. You are the powerful co-creator of this universe. You are the powerful co-creator. Everything that you see around you is created by you. You are God. You are the master. Everything, this whole universe is co-created by you. You are a part of that creation, part of this master plan of this whole creation. Now, why are we here? Because we are here to experience human life. We are here to experience emotions. We are here to push our own creations, our own boundaries. So every experience is not a bad or a good experience. It is either something that we are, okay, this is something that we did. It didn't turn out well. You always have a next day. You always have a new sun. You always have a new day. So every day you get up and you're like, I'm going to create the life that I want. See, there is one thing. You either can sit and manage the life that you have created all your life, or say today, right now, I'm going to create my own life. I'm going to start creating my own life, my own desires, and attract what I truly want in my life. Because, guys, remember, if you read the book Seth Speaks, one of the greatest books, Seth Speaks, what it says is the saying, you create your own reality, comes from Seth Speaks. This is where it comes. Our belief systems, I have, like, if you had children in your house, you'll probably know the building blocks, the blocks that we have, you put one over the other. Our belief systems are like building blocks. So we want to say build a tower. Okay, we want to build a tower, but we set out to build probably a flat surface. We are building flat, and it's not a tower or a pyramid. And then after we are building, we are busy building that, we are putting in blocks and everything, and then we get out and we see, oh my gosh, I wanted to build a tower, but I built something else. And you're like, and then at that point you start believing that, oh gosh, I spent so much time building the tower, now I don't have time. I have spent all my energy building that, so I have used up all my resources, all my blocks to build this. Now I don't have any more blocks to build this. So we believe these lies, and we think that now we are stuck with this whatever we have created, but which is not a tower. So you just have to manage that because you don't have time. The truth is, time is an illusion. Time doesn't exist. Time is an illusion. When we talk about advanced concepts in multidimensional reality, we will probably dive more into this. Time doesn't exist. Time is a three-dimensional construct. When you enter into 4 dimensions, time is like location. Australia exists, US exists at the same time. So past, present, and future exist at the same time. They are all happening in the now moment. You are living a past life right now in this moment. You are living a future life right now in this moment, because there is no linear progression. There is no, oh, I have a past life in 1500, then I come back in 17, 18, 2000. No, it doesn't happen like that. You can jump. You can have a past life, go to your future, come back to your present, because there is no linear. It is all happening horizontally in the now moment. This is one of the greatest a myth buster. And if you watch Gaia TV, if you don't subscribe to that on Prime, probably it's $11 in US. I don't know in Australia. So subscribe to Gaia TV. There is a show called Interviews with Extra Dimensions. Interviews with Extra Dimensions. So basically, people who channel Pleiadians or other races, other extraterrestrial races, they have these channelings, these interviews with them. So one of the first interview, I believe her name is Laura Kennedy. No, not Laura Kennedy. I forget her name. She is a she channels ninth dimension Pleiadians. Now all these dimensions, okay, this is out of scope for this 21 days. We'll have to do a new course to understand all of that. So ninth dimension Pleiadians, the very first thing that she talked about, why in our Hindu culture we talk about reincarnation as linear progression, because for a mindset, for that our awareness, for that consciousness, we cannot understand this past, present, future happening in the now moment. So that is why, to understand, we have been told all this, but everything is happening in the now moment. And also we choose our lives. We choose the fears that we are going to have. This is one of the amazing things. We all choose our own dominant fear. Okay. We all choose. Now, this is the recent stuff. First time I'm sharing this about this stuff. About this that I've read in a book. I'll share the book also. We all choose, before we are born, choose the fears that we want to be expressed in this life, because this is contrary. In astral planes, there is no fear. In astral planes, you are in the love, in the other dimension, you're in the love and light consciousness. You don't see fear. 3D construct is the only construct where you can see this duality, light and dark, male and female, right and good and evil. You see this duality. If there is no evil, good can't exist. So you need all of this. Dark, if there is no darkness, there is no light. Or to exist, to experience these positive emotions. So this is a duality world. In this exists. So it is not just about talking, oh, light workers, unicorns, rainbows. No, there is darkness also. So only when we embrace the darkness, we are able to complete the yin and yang, be a complete person. So darkness is also important. We all have our own shadows that we carry with us deep inside, the things that we have done, or the thoughts, that the dark thoughts that we have. Saying that, oh, this is not me, I should not think like that, I am such a bad person, why am I thinking like, why am I doing this stuff? If you do that, you're self-sabotaging. Embrace the darkness and ask where that darkness is coming from, because that stems out of a fear, the fear that we have chosen for ourselves. So there are 5 different types of dominant fears. Maybe we need another class just for that. What are the fears? How to overcome that? For example, the big breakthrough, I'll tell you. So when I was in US, I was living with my uncle, my father's brother, who was complete opposite spectrum of my father. He was a scientist. He believed in science. Science was his religion. If I said, I don't believe in this, it's science, something related to science, he can come and kill me. I mean, that passionate he is about. So you might have seen such people who believe that science is oh my gosh, I believe in science. Get injected. If you don't get injected, you're going against science. Wear mask on your face. If you don't wear mask, you're going against science. You are the rebel. You are the people that kill people. You may have heard about all these stuff. So people are fanatics. Science is what? Science is how much we have proved. If you believe that this is it, then you are not really a scientist, because for scientists, the first requirement is to have an open mind, is to be an experiment. You have to keep experimenting to find. So if you believe that, if you're set in your mind, this is it, earth is flat, that's it, I don't believe, this is what this person has proved, a case study has come out, and you're like, okay, you know what, you are not a scientist, you clearly don't know what science means. So he was on that spectrum, and I lived with him because I had no money. My father had no money to pay for my masters, so my uncle was paying for my masters. Why? Because he wanted to bring me out of India, because he was scared that I will turn out like my father. That means I will get into the meditation line. So he wanted to get me out of that environment and get me to Chicago and study. And I was like, okay, I'm happy. I want an adventure in my life. Please go. I'll come to Chicago. But I was living with them, and it was, I lived there for 3-4 years. I didn't talk about meditation. I didn't talk about my father. Imagine that. I couldn't talk, because if I talk about father, obviously meditation comes into play, and there would be a big fight, an ugly fight in the house if I talk about that. So I would suppress all of that. I would not talk about it. And this is how my, as I said, my belief system started changing. But he is the root cause for me to actually see my own fears. So my at that time, I used to get ridiculed if I talk about meditation. I would be like, this is crazy. Literally, they would ridicule me, look down upon me, like, like, you don't know what the real world is. We are because they come from this intelligent scientist family. So all my cousins would look down upon me, ridicule me, and all of that. So I carried the deep imprints in my heart. So now, fast forward this time, now I'm here. This is recent revelation, guys, by the way. So I go back to the people, to the friends from that time. Okay, from the time when I was ridiculed, when I had carried all that shame within me, when I see that people, now my fear of, so my ego is always telling me, okay, if you be, remember, these people have ridiculed me. So now the ego remembers that memory and trying to protect me from getting ridiculed again, from getting hurt again. The emotion that I use is to mask as arrogance, as pride. You guys don't meditate, so you don't know what you're talking about. So I would use arrogance in the sense like I'm a meditator. I have, I am teaching about manifestation or whatever. I'm teaching all of this. You guys don't know. So ha ha ha. So I'm using the arrogance as a mask to fear, to of that ego that I have, that the ego is trying to do, that is saving me from that ridicule, from that hurt, not to feel again. So this is where the pride comes in. This is where the arrogance, I'm a Leo, so the pride comes in out of that. So we choose our fears, and we choose the instances, the family, where that fear can be expressed out. So even the incidents that happen in our life, maybe it can be traumatic, the things that happen, those all incidents are chosen by us. So the fear gets manifested in our life, because we are here to express that and to overcome that fear in the physical world. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. We choose incidents, we choose family, we choose traumatic events that happen in our life. We choose how it will be demonstrated. So the fear can come out, because that is what we have chosen before we are on earth. We choose the fears of how it should be expressed. So we think, okay, they have ridiculed me, or my uncle has ridiculed me, but I have chosen him to be a tool to express my own fear. So this is where blaming, and that is why we say there is no blaming and there is no complaining. There's nothing to complain, there's nothing to blame. We have orchestrated everything that we have. We are always in power. We are the creators. There's nothing outside of us. This is one thing out of this 21 days. The one thing that I want you to get is this: there's nothing outside of us. Everything is within us. We come from abundance, we go back to abundance. Even a rapist, a murderer will go back to the same source as we come from. That person is no different from you. So as we are going on this journey, there is a good, there is a bad, and there is an ugly. Three things in this spiritual path. The good is, as you are entering here, wow, finally you feel free. There is a freedom. You see unicorns, you see all of that. You're like light workers, I'm meeting these soul sisters. So all this good comes into play. Suddenly everything looks so beautiful, like as if you're in honeymoon, as if you're in love. And that is a good part of entering into spirituality. The bad part is, you may start losing people that you have in your life. You may start now not you may not be able to tolerate what you have been tolerating before, or you may start tolerating what you haven't tolerated before. So things will start changing in your life. That is the bad. That you will no longer be able to uh, um, tolerate lies or an untruth. You will always want to live in truth. So that is the bad. Now the ugly is that people may start leaving you. The friends that you may have, the family that you may have that are close to you, may start leaving you, because as your vibration starts higher, the people who are in the lower vibrations automatically start getting out from your realities. So you don't have to do anything to get out of toxicity. The toxicity removes itself from you as your vibration rises. And the ugly and the other part is that people may not understand you. You may feel like a loner back again, where you have started. You may have started from loneliness. You may start feeling a loner again, that people around me don't understand me at all. But it is okay. It is okay. it resists the temptations, because I'm telling all of this from my own experience. I have been through this. When you're with people who talk nonsense, who talk mediocrity, who talk the lack, who express the lack mindset, you're sitting with them, because you can you we are not talking about taking sannyasa. You have to be with them. That they may be your colleagues, they may be your friends, family, and then you're sitting amongst them, and then you're like, oh gosh, what am I doing here? And then at that moment, resist the temptation to be right, resist the temptation to prove yourself. You don't have to prove yourself all the time. Listen to them, understand where the perspective comes from. uh, think yourself like an FBI agent. You're interviewing somebody. You don't have to believe what they believe. It's okay to not believe what the other person believes. It's just listen, just understand, just show some empathy, some compassion, genuine appreciation, not just made up. So this is how the ugly also comes to you. So there's a lot of fears that will be expressed through this form. So when we meet non-meditators, we don't ridicule them, because they have the potential, they have the seed of a Buddha within them. We respect that Buddha within them. Okay, always. So never ridicule people who eat meat, or who do not meditate, or who do not believe in what you believe. They are Buddhas too. They have that seed too. So always look within the, how do you activate that seed? Maybe you just say something. Hey, the best way of saying, by the way, is don't say, you should meditate. Say, you know what? I meditated. It changed life for me. Express your experience. Okay. That's the best way to share. You don't tell others that do this, do that. Nobody likes that, to have a preacher around you. Express how it changed your life. You know what? I had a headache and I did this meditation. It changed my life. Everything has gone. I suggest maybe you can try. Be suggestive, recommending, but don't, because once you know the truth, I've done that. I burned my hands so many times. So you don't have to do all those mistakes and then, just go with it. I've been a preacher in my family. Friends and family will not listen to you. That is for sure. People who know you before you are enlightened being, they will not consider you anything. It is for sure. So there's no point teaching them, preaching them. Find new people. If if in my if I when I started business, people who are my friends are never going to buy things from you, but they will always have opinions, they will always judge you. So just discard that and always go who listens to you, who respect you, who value you. So abundance is, again, going back to mindsets: scarcity and abundant mindset. You can only feel one. If you ever get a thought, how can I afford? I can't afford this. I can't afford buying this. That is a lack mindset. Say, how can I make it happen? What can I do to get that, to afford that? You shift your mindset. Every thought that you get. If you're looking for a job, and then you and your friends talk about, oh my gosh, jobs are so tough, we are not getting anything, it's such a tough market, such a competitive market. That is a lack mindset. Don't participate in that conversations. Get out of that conversation. If you're looking for a promotion, talk about promotions, talk about things that can happen, not about the lack mindset. Talk about where you can apply, where there are opportunities. Talk about opportunities, not about lack. So when you're taking care of your health, don't, one of the things, family gatherings, we sit together and the first thing the person we talk about is, I have thyroid, I have diabetes, I'm going this, I'm going that. Lack mindset. Don't encourage that mindset. Get out of that. So when you are trying to manifest something and you participate in lack thoughts, lack conversations, you're contradicting yourself. So you have to shift that. You have to bring alignment. Again, mind and heart, emotions have to be in alignment in order for you to manifest strong. First thing is you have to have clarity. Now I'm going to take steps. We're getting into the, because Radhika has covered a lot of stuff yesterday. I'm not getting into that. Okay. Again, from yesterday, I will share. There are no blessings. Don't seek blessings. Don't seek blessings. You are the God. You are the God. You are the creator. All the blessings are with me. And this concept of lucky, oh gosh, I have a 5-year-old, 6-year-old. They talk about luck. Mama, is this good luck? Mama, this is this bad luck? Because their friends talk about it, and I have to keep rewiring them. Beta, no, there is no nothing like luck. We create our own reality. So I make him repeat. Okay, repeat this 5 times. I create my own reality. So I make him repeat right in there, because I have to rewire. Every time they go to school and they come back, I have to ask, okay, beta, what did you learn today? Because I have to keep rewiring what they have taught at school. So this constant rewiring happening. Our children, unfortunately, are getting brainwashed in schools and colleges, into believing what the matrix want us to believe. So unfortunately, if I had that time and opportunity, I would rather homeschool them, not send to schools. Because they have teaching all the wrong history, wrong chemistry, wrong physics. There's so much lies. Again, the fabric of matrix, there's lies and there's truth. There's so much mixed, you don't even know what is truth and what is lie anymore if your third eye is not opened. So you have to open up you have to meditate. So teach your kids meditation. First thing I would say, please, you will do a great favor to them. It doesn't matter whether you teach them karate, swimming, this and that. Don't stress on it. Stress on teaching them meditation, because that is the only thing that will make them not come back to their seeking for Dalai Lama or a monk or Himalayas when they are in 40s, when they are having midlife crises. So meditation is the only thing that would save them. So it's not the money or the wealth you will leave for them. It is this wealth of information, of telling them who they are, is what will save them in their life. So every day we have to rewire. Every day we must understand what decisions, what thoughts am I having, what beliefs am I expressing, which is stemming from fear, and what is that fear. So when we understand that, we start reprogramming. So I worked on, oh my gosh, this abundance concept is like ventilation. When you need air in your house, you need to open the front door and the back door. Correct? That's what we do in India to get fresh air. So there always must be receiving and taking. If you just give, you're a great helper. You're always there for helping. You love hearing that, oh my gosh, Kalpana, whenever I want her, she's there. You love that thing. You want to be a loyal friend. You're always giving, but never taking help. There is abundance block. You're always taking, but you're not giving. Abundance block. So there always must be give and take. Always receiving and giving. It has to be flowing. Then the money is flowing. Money is energy. Money is energy which is in constant motion. It never stays at one place. It is like wind. It is like wind. Always it has to move. That is when it is in harmony. We are in harmony with that. So when you see money as energy, then you will start understanding how to work with it. You will always have enough money to go by. Always have enough money. One of the things I've read is, I told you in that book, Untold Story of Sita, when you start in the grounding, we talked about it. When you start hoarding, that is when there creates an imbalance on earth. So you keep money in your bank. I've seen so many people have so much money in their bank, but they don't have the consciousness or the will to give, because of the fear that if I give, because you are still in survival, if I give, I might lose my bank balance. I might, ऐसे ही शुरू होता है, देने से ही शुरू होता है to become a zero in the bank. So, and there are people I've met who have zero bank balance but give everything, which is both are happening. It is both giving and receiving is what keeps that money flowing. So don't ever think that, if I give this, what happens? Oh gosh. See, if you have to go to, say, if you have to go to India or go to Hawaii, you have to, the very thought of going is there. But if you think like, I have only, your ego thinks like this, I have only $500, but I really want to go to Hawaii. The flight is say $1,000. How do I don't, and your ego will tell you, Pari, what are you thinking? You don't have money. Look at your bank balance. How can you go to Hawaii? That's what the mind will tell. But if you come out of your mind, if you get into this infinite into the quantum realm, that is what you do when you enter into meditation. You enter the quantum realm. First, make a decision. Now, these are the steps, guys, for manifestation. Make a clear decision. Decide what you want in your life. So decide, I am going to Hawaii. I am are the two powerful words that you can use. I am going to Hawaii. I am in Hawaii. First, make a decision. Then first make a decision, and then the mind will follow you, not the other way around. Don't ask your mind, can I go to Hawaii? The mind will tell you, are you crazy? You don't have time. What will you do going to Hawaii? You have a beach in Australia, so go there. What beach you have? In Melbourne, you have a beach? Go there. Why are you going there? Mind will tell you that. Why are you wasting money? You could rather use it in buying a boat in Australia. So it will always telling you that. So don't ask your mind. Decide. You take your power back and you decide. I am going to California, or I'm going to California to see Pari there. You are all coming here to see me here. Okay, we will have fun here. So you make a decision that, and then being in abundance mindset, that money is, things will happen, miraculous. This is where miraculous thinking. It will happen. It will happen. I don't know how. I wanted to go to Malaysia this year, December. Satish is here. I wanted to go there. I don't have money to buy a ticket to Malaysia. I don't have a job. So what do then they Mr. Subramaniam, Mr. Lakshman, and they tell me, Pari, we are buying a ticket for you. And I'm like, okay, I don't have money, but yet I'm going to Malaysia. How did that happen? So money doesn't get you everything. It is not the money that makes it happen. Okay, my father traveled the entire world. He traveled 50 countries without zero money, with zero money. He doesn't have money. But how did he travel? So it is not the money that will get everything. So first we have to remove that belief system. Or first, let me see how much money I have, then I will decide. Wrong thinking. First, make a decision. And then have a deep desire. Next is desire. You have to have a deep desire to make it happen. Okay, deep passion. You have to be able to do anything to make it happen. That much desire. If Buddha didn't have desire to seek enlightenment, he wouldn't have run away from his home. He had the desire. So what is a desire for you? And if the desire, this is the key for the desire. See if the desire is coming from the place of love or from the place of fear. I want a big home. I have a deep desire for a home to overlook mountains. That is my desire right now. Okay. I want a home looking over the mountains in California. I have the deep desire. Now, why this deep desire? See, this is not to prove something that I am, oh gosh, I live in such an amazing place and I want such a big house. Everybody should think bigger. My status symbol. No, that is a place of fear. I want this house so that I can invite more people. I can host more meditation sessions. I can serve. If it comes from a place of service, you will have the universe working with you, but genuine feeling of service, not just made up. Genuine, you have to feel it in your heart. Anything that comes from a place of service is you're working with the universe. There's service to self, service to others. So when you move into the spectrum of service, any desire, when it comes from a place of service, you are living in abundance. Universe will take care of you. I am traveling. I travel so much. I go 1 month to India or to here. And people will ask me, Pari, you have 2 small children, toddlers. How are you managing? How are you doing the school, this and that? And I'm like, all the other kids are like doing so many classes. They're, how it is for children. You have, putting in dance class, this class, karate class, swimming class. They're fully busy and fully competitive. And I'm like, I've taught what I know to them. They will learn, and I know universe will take care of them. When you work for the universe, when you work in the form, in the service, universe will take care of your kids. I and my sister have been taken care. My father was never there with us. He was never there in asking. He didn't even know sometimes which class we were in. So, but I turned out to be okay, right? I turned out to be okay. So because the universe will take care of that. When you lean in, when you enter, take a step forward, come out of your insecurities, come out of that seeking of security again, which I said is an illusion. The universe is there to take care of you. Don't worry about anything. Just lean in, just fall off the cliff. You will be taken care of. You fall off the cliff, you will be taken care of. Nothing will happen to you. So there's no fear. So I encourage you, be fearless, be unapologetic about who you are, be bold, talk, don't, and again, with compassion, again, respecting each and every individual because they are Buddhas too. Have that deep compassion in your heart. And when you walk on this line, manifestation is your reality. Miraculous thinking should be your second nature. This is how I think. If anybody, as I said, it is not in the good times. It is also when things go wrong, extremely wrong. Understanding this soul science of how you have orchestrated this before you were born gives you the understanding to go through that situation, that life. That is why there is a saying by Richard Bach. I end with this. Your belief in tragedy and injustice is a mark. Is a mark of your. Wait, I'll tell you. Wait. The mark of your ignorance. The mark of your ignorance is in the depth of your belief in injustice and tragedy by Richard Bach. Amazing statement. If you believe there is suffering, there is tragedy, there is injustice in the world, that is your mark of your ignorance, because there is no injustice in this world. We see that way. Again, I'm zooming out. I'm in like a full bird's eye, eagle's eye view here talking. There's nothing injustice going on. We are here to learn. We decide. I decide with Payal. In my last incarnation, I will rape you. I will be your perpetrator. You play the victim role. In the next incarnation, we change roles. You play the perpetrator. I play the victim. So we choose roles. Now, how do we come out of this trauma and all of this particular science? Today, we really talked a lot of stuff, a depth of information, different topics. I hope I made sense today. I went all over, but I really took abundance mindset into how you create your reality. Because how you overcome, how you lean into your fears. So I'm going to stop here. Reminds me of a quote: when you truly want something, all the universe conspires. Yeah, that is absolutely true. It does happen when you truly want. So first decide what you want, get clarity, have a deep desire, and then not just wishing and praying will help you. You have to take action. You have to be you cannot just sit outside the ring and say, oh no, in a tennis ring, and say, oh no, he should have did this, he should have done that. Get inside the ring. Get inside, hold the bat. You will fail, you will fall, you will hit bad shots. But unless you do that, you're not going to be successful. So don't be scared of failures. Don't be scared of not being successful. You have to be inside the ring. So today I invite you, each of you, to get inside the ring. Stop being outside, get inside, get your hands dirty, get into action. So thank you so much, guys. I have to go now. I have to go to the gym now. I do kickboxing. So I have to get there. We will meet again. Tomorrow is full moon. So we'll have a full moon session tomorrow. Okay. Right. Thank you. And we'll have another question and answer session. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
Thank you so
Yeah, ma'am.
much.
So much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Pari ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye, guys.
I think there was abundance of knowledge in today's session. Very hard to digest for me. I think I'll need to go over this video again, guys. I don't have no words, no finishing comments. You can stop the YouTube live. Thank you so much.